Hello everybody. As you can see, I'm trying something a little new this time around. Instead of your normal speed paint video where it's just a sped up version of me drawing in the background with some music put to it, it's going to be exactly that, but with some commentary added in on top of it. And hopefully, I don't really have a goal or a reason behind this other than entertainment. I just thought it'd be fun to get to ramble on top of my videos, make them a little more personal, know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, moving right along. Today's subject is my character, Alex. I did not go out intending to draw them. I honestly did not go out intending to draw anything because I was just in a trash mood at the time I was drawing this. I was just bitter and angry at everything for no reason, and I don't know if it was because I was hungry or I was sleepy or just combination of life stuff just manifesting. But I've noticed it kind of happens at the same time every day where I'm just angry, and I don't think it's hunger, but anyway, I was mad and I was not looking for this picture to get done. But regardless, somehow I ended up finishing it and liking the outcome, so yeah, that's cool. Basically, what I ended up doing was just going over into Design Doll and just making two random poses and then just setting them up to draw, not really knowing what I was going to be drawing. Well, I knew I wanted to draw Alex. Well, at least I think so. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I knew I wanted to draw Alex, but I didn't know what I wanted to draw them doing and how I wanted to draw them, and those unknowns were just contributing to my frustration to the point where I just wanted to quit. And brain was just like, hey, just throw some poses in there and draw something, man. If you don't finish it, whatever, who cares? And that's what I did. Anyway, I just wanted to draw them looking cute, but rather than looking cute in their feminine clothes, I want to draw them looking cute in their more masculine clothes because they do dabble in both. Sometimes they wear cutesy dresses, sometimes they wear suits. It's just what they do as a model and a fashion enthusiast. I've reached this odd point in my artistic journey where I just don't feel right whenever I just post a drawing that's just a headshot or a half body shot of a character floating in space doing nothing. And to make up for that, I try to draw, instead of just one character floating in space doing nothing, I might try to draw two characters floating in space doing nothing, or draw the same character floating in space multiple times. Just something to create the illusion that I'm not basic, when in actuality I am as basic could possibly be. I can just tell by the way I'm working on this sketch, I was not feeling it at all, and I was really getting ready to quit. You could tell, one of the telltale signs that I'm about to quit a drawing and just trash it or throw it in the whip pile is when I start shading in the dark areas, like what I was doing with the hair and the clothes. I don't normally do that. Normally, I'll go straight into inking. I'm pulling up a grid right here just to use as a guide for resizing. I wanted to be able to use these drawings for Alex's profile on Toy House, so I needed to make sure that they were a big enough size. Usually what I'll do with the grid is that I'll set it so each individual square is 100 pixels wide. And then when I enlarge it, I'll make sure that the character's eye in the drawing is also at least 100 pixels wide. And that always guarantees that I have a big enough image for my little purposes. Be it, page sitters or icons, avatars, things like that. Inking is quite a weird stage for me when it comes to my art, because sometimes I love it. It's super soothing and I love to see it, and other times I dread it. It just depends on what mood I'm in. I was actually surprised by how quick I got the line work done on these drawings. I was a lot looser than I normally am, and I wasn't too ticky about overlapping lines, and it still came out pretty nice. And then I also knew that because Alex has a pretty dark color scheme most of the time, you wouldn't be able to see most of the errors anyway, so it was easy for me to ease up on the neatness. Alex is without a doubt one of my favorite OCs right now. And it's funny because when I made them, they were supposed to be a relatively minor character, but I ended up liking them so much that I had to make them more important. And I know that's not how you write characters, but fight me. I don't care. No one's paying me. That's my motto. If you're not getting paid, do what you want. If you're getting paid, do what whoever's paying you wants. I originally made Alex solely with the intention of them being my character Aza's significant other, because Aza is a main character, or the main character in her story. And something I just wanted to do for the heck of it was have her cycle through 3 different relationships throughout the course of her story, all of which would end in ruin for whatever reason. Alex was supposed to be one of those 3. Alex was actually supposed to be the first of those 3. Basically how it was going to work was Az was going to end up hooking up with Alex, and they were going to stay together for a while and be really cute together, only for Alex to eventually leave Aza for their ex-girlfriend Delilah. Aza would be super upset and she'd cry and she'd be sad, and it would have like a bad effect on her mentally, and it would cause her to like lapse in her goals. Well, the whole thing that was supposed to happen was that Aza was supposed to hook up with Alex, and then throughout the course of that, Aza would start not paying attention to her personal goals, being distracted with romance and all that good stuff, and then she would break up with Alex. And that the moral of that little section of the story would be to, keep your eye on the prize. Don't let love get in the way of your big goals, or don't let people distract you, or people who really care about you won't pull you away from the things that they know are important to you. And that was going to be it. And then after Alex, there was going to be this country boy. I don't remember what their name was supposed to be, but they were supposed to meet, and Aza was going to fall for him. And what would end up happening with their relationship is Aza would be so embarrassed by this guy. Like, embarrassed of this guy for being himself. Like, the guy wouldn't have done anything particularly bad. He would just been, an innocent little country dude who don't know a lot about the big city and all that good stuff. And Aza would get made fun of for his behavior, to the point where Aza would be super ashamed to deal with him around like other people, and that would eventually lead to them breaking up. And that would have been the second one. And the third one was going to be some girl who really only seeks Aza's attention, for clout, post pictures on Instagram. I'm dating a almost celebrity, not really, but, and that wouldn't last long. And then finally Aza would just give up and just focus on becoming the angel of music, which is her whole goal. But I designed Alex, and after I designed Alex, all of that other planning just went out the window. I was like, no, they're staying right here. I don't care whether they break up with Az or not. They're not going anywhere. I will make a whole separate story just so Alex can thrive and prosper. I love them that much now. They can't leave. And that was not the plan, but sometimes this is how it ends up happening. Can't do anything about it. Alex is just like so many of my favorite things. Okay, so don't be mad at me, but I may have edited out most of the flatting for this video because it's boring. It's just really boring. I started off being cute, going around each little section. Oh, I'm gonna outline the little head, and then I'm gonna color that in. I'm gonna do the hair, I'm gonna color that in. And then I got tired real fast. I was like, I'm finna get this paint bucket. We finna fill in these lines, and then whatever you leave behind, paint bucket, I'll fix. But I ain't finna sit here all night doing this. So yeah, that's what I did. And I left in the part where I, do the patterns, because I know people wonder about that. It's just a brush. Ain't nobody got time to be drawing that stuff by hand. Ain't nobody got time to be drawing all that stuff by hand. So it's like you draw it by hand once, and you turn to a brush, and then you never draw it by hand again. I didn't want this video to be too long. I don't know, I just feel weird having a 30-minute long video. I did not want this video to be like 30 minutes. So I was like, okay, let's just get to the point. Now, if your feelings are hurt by that, because you really wanted to see those base colors, you can comment below and tell me about it. And I'll be sure to think about you next time when I once again edit out the base coloring process, because that's boring. I'm kidding. There are times when I really do be vibing with my base colors and I be like, I could leave this flat. Like, I don't even have to shade this and it will still look cute. But then the other side of me is like, girl, you sat through all that sketching, all that inking, just to lay down some flats and leave it. And it's like, all you gotta do is shade it and it's a finished picture. Because in my head, a picture isn't finished until it's been shaded, because I don't know. The first art tutorial I ever stumbled across on DeviantArt had shading as the final step. So now that's ingrained in my brain as being the final step. So if you don't shade your picture, it ain't finished. That's why I remember when I like spent that short time on like for Affinity in the community I had chosen to place myself in, I was just baffled. Like, why don't nobody shade their pictures out here? Why ain't y'all finishing y'all drawing? I've learned difference now, but yeah, I still haven't managed to shake that. I don't feel right not shading my stuff, even if I like how it looks with just flats. I gotta put that shading in because I came too far and I worked too hard to not finish it. What I usually do for my shading is I block out all the shading with one color. Then I make a separate layer where I figure out the edges that I want to soften. And then I put them all back together over a multiply layer when I'm done and adjust the colors accordingly. And it works pretty good after some tweaking. It's just that's the most important thing, is you have to tweak it. You can't just pick a color, turn on the multiply layer and expect that to be that. And you have to really tweak those colors and add gradients and stuff to make it look more realistic. Otherwise it just looks flat and dull. But if you take the initiative and bite the bullet and go on and do what you need to do to like finesse it, make it look cute, the results are usually pretty nice. I gotta be real with y'all. I underestimated how much talking I would have to do for a video like this, because bruh, I'm really sitting here drawing a blank. I'm like, what else is there to talk about? Here's an idea I just had on the spot. Maybe since I can't always think of what to talk about right off the bat, I have a curious cat where people usually just ask me a bunch of stuff about OCs and just drawing in general, and like maybe, you know, as a reward for those random people who are still listening right now, if you go over there, I'll put a link to it in the description. But if you go there and you can ask me some questions, and in somewhere in the question you can just be like, save this for your YouTube channel, and I'll like answer them while I'm drawing, you know, during my next speed paint. Kind of like a Q&A, but not a formal one, because I can't really imagine that. Anyway, yeah, that'd be cute. Let's try that out. It can also help me gauge how many people actually watch this and pay attention. When I actually made up my mind to, you know, start trying to do speed paint with commentary, this was not the drawing I thought I'd be using to, you know, debut the whole thing. I'm actually working on another picture right now. It's a lot bigger though. It's a character lineup for the kids from my Greenlist story. I won't go into it now, so I have something to talk about when that time comes, because I know that's gonna be a long video, because that's like freaking 6 different characters. So I guess it's a good thing that I started small with this little simple drawing of Alex, so I can kind of get used to the setup and find a nice routine that works for me when it comes to making these things. Overall, I'm kind of happy. Like, I don't know, I wasn't worried, but I was just kind of like, I don't really know how I'm gonna go about this, or if this is even gonna work out, but nothing beats a fail but a try. So here we are. And I don't even know, actually I do know why. I wanted to start up my YouTube channel again, just to have something else to do, because I draw every single day, day in and day out. I draw as my job, and I draw for fun, and I draw for my own personal work that I'm doing just for me. And when you draw all the time, it kind of gets hard to separate fun drawing from work drawing. And I get in a mode where lately I've just been wanting other hobbies, like not wanting to replace drawing at all, by no means, just other things that I can shuffle between besides just drawing. I took up playing guitar back in June, not really looking to do anything with it, but just having fun, just having something to do that's not art. Because I like learning new things, and I like, in essence, kind of studying things that I know nothing about. It's been nice to be able to say, just to kind of like start over with something I know nothing about, like music, something I've always been interested in, but didn't really know much about because I never was, in a position where I could like seek out any type of formal education regarding it. So just, buying a little acoustic guitar and later blowing a little too much money on an electric one, but I love it anyway. But after doing that and just, taking advantage of the little cheap lessons they have online and just learning that just for fun's sake, no pressure to get good, no pressure to turn it into something to make a living off of, just something to do for fun. It's refreshing. And I wanted to do the same thing with YouTube videos because it's like, even though it ties in close to art, I remember a time when I was younger, like when I first made this channel, I used to make AMVs and I just loved video editing. It was just a fun process for me, syncing the clips up with the music and doing stuff like that. And I thought, oh, it would be fun to get back into that, but I'm not really interested in making AMVs anymore. So I thought I'd use my art for it. And so far it's been fun, though this is only the first video, so who knows how long this is gonna last. But I do intend to keep this up for as long as I find it enjoyable, whether or not I get a lot of feedback, positive feedback or not. Alright, well, I think this just about wraps things up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know down in the comments and, like, comment, and subscribe, that classic little spiel YouTubers give you when they're signing out. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later, hopefully. Be blessed.